Hey, superstars. Thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Aaron Zakowski, and today I'm chatting with Anand Kansal. Anand is the marketing lead at Outgrow.com. Outgrow helps you create online calculators, quizzes, and chatbots to acquire, qualify, and engage new leads. Hey, Anand, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Super happy to finally get you on the podcast here.
Thanks for having me. It's super to be here.
Great. I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. Tell us, beyond the bio that I just read, a little about yourself, your background. I know you've worked with some big companies or well-known companies in the SaaS space previously. So why don't you tell us about yourself a little?
Yeah, so I've been in this industry for around 6 years now. I started off as a marketing generalist at this company called VW, which is an A/B testing and CRO platform. Post that, I joined this company called Referral Candy, which is based out of Singapore, and it's a referral marketing company,
Right.
mainly catering towards Shopify e-commerce owners. So I've been working at Outgrow for the last 3 years, and mostly I've been handling the overall marketing function here. Outgrow, Outgrow, for people who don't know, is interactive content platform which helps marketers and business owners in SaaS and other industries as well create interactive tools like calculators, quizzes. So I joined this company as a marketing lead, and my job was basically to scale up the marketing beyond a very rudimentary start. That's where we are right now.
Great. It's definitely a company that I've heard of even before I knew you, Outgrow, and something I've been paying attention to a lot. I guess maybe before we get into the marketing specifically, let's talk a little bit more about the company and the product. And I know it's something that can really help SaaS companies. Could you maybe share some case studies or growth studies that have worked in SaaS and using the product itself?
Sure. I'll tell you an example of how our founders initially started this company. So they had a company before this which used to design web apps and websites for other companies. So they were constantly encountering this question that how much will it cost to build a SaaS tool for my business, and how much will it cost to build a website application for my business? So they were tired of answering these questions again and again. So they thought that why not build a calculator for their clients where they can input their details on what kind of tool they want, what kind of technology they're looking for. And based on that, they'll give an estimate of how much it will cost. And this calculator was made as a way to generate more leads for them. And it ended up generating more than 12,000 leads for them. Which was more than they had generated in the entire duration of their company. So then they decided to pivot their company to this new product, which will build calculators, which will help other marketers build calculators. Because typically, when you think of building something like this, you think that it will require a lot of development time and tech investment. So now marketers and business owners, they can build these tools without the need for coding. When I say interactive tools, I mean calculators, quizzes, assessments, surveys, polls. We're also going to come up with interactive infographics in some time. So basically, it's a whole interactive suite. This was one really key case study which I gave, which my founders used to build their product. Apart from that, a lot of SaaS tools, they use our businesses. They use our product to build quizzes for generating word of mouth on social media, for generating ROI calculators. I'm sure if you have browsed a lot of SaaS tools, you see that a lot of SaaS tools nowadays have ROI calculators on their pricing page to help their customers figure out how much they are going to make by subscribing to a particular plan of their product. So these kind of calculators, they can be built very easily with Outgrow. Similar to that, if we look beyond the normal SaaS tools, the insurance companies, real estate companies, finance companies, these guys use us a lot for building premium calculators, or should you buy or rent, or how much will you save if you rent a house in this location compared to buying a house in this location. So there are a lot of use cases like that.
Right. So it sounds like from what you just described, one of the best use cases that's being used within the SaaS industries, at least, is something along the ROI calculator, being able to prove out that if you use this product, you should be able to get, X return on investment, and hopefully a much
Right.
bigger return on investment than the investment you're actually making from the product.
Yeah, so calculators are basically more for bottom of the funnel, because that's where you need real numbers. For generating leads at top of the funnel, a lot of companies use quizzes, outcome quizzes, because quizzes typically have a higher conversion rate than landing pages. Because in a landing page, you are given some information and then you're asked to fill up your email and a name and a phone number. Whereas in a quiz, it actually engages with you in a conversational manner. You can it asks you questions and you can input those questions, and it gives you a personalized response at the end. So typically we have seen that quizzes, they convert higher than landing pages. We have tried them ourselves for our ads and our content, and the conversion rate is even higher. And so quizzes and assessments, they are more for top of the funnel. Calculators are more towards the middle and bottom of the funnel. Okay. And even after they have bought the tool, for getting feedback for your customers via surveys, for sending chat messages to your customers, even then Outgrow has a lot of applications in preventing churn of users, of SaaS users.
Okay, great, makes sense. Maybe we'll try and find some examples, maybe to link to in the show notes for the episode.
Sure.
Great. So now we know a bit more about the product and how it can potentially help SaaS customers. Let's talk a little bit about the company, your marketing team, things like that. So first off, you've heard how long have you been with the company? How big is your marketing team?
So when I started out, I was the second person in the marketing team. This was around 3 years back. Now we are 8 members strong. This is full-time marketers. Apart from that, we have some members of the design team and the tech team who help us when we need their services. So typically, yeah, there are 8 full-time members.
Okay, great. And can you share with us, I guess, what's been working? I mean, definitely your brand has been growing. I talk to people that they've heard of you guys, right? They're using you. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of what have you done to grow and to grab that market share and to grow revenues?
So the major focus for us has been content for the last 6 months to a year. Mm-hmm. And when I say content, I mean blogs, infographics, ebooks, videos, and email courses. So when we started out a year back, our DA, our domain authority, was quite low. So when we decided to scale out content, we had that target of reaching a certain DA. Mostly infographics helped a lot in that, because infographics got us a lot of backlinks. So content is one part where we have scaled up a lot, and I think we can safely say that among our competitors, we produce the most amount of content and the most amount of good quality content. That is something which I feel proud of. Apart from that, we also do a little bit of advertising. Not a lot, because we believe that organic leads are much more valuable, and the numbers were proof of that. So we do a bit of advertising on Facebook and Google and display ads. Even there, we try to use our product as landing pages. For example, you can embed calculators as a part of a display ad. So your users can engage with you right there at the ad level. They don't need to click through to the landing page.
Embed an Outgrow calculator inside of an ad?
Yes. Yes, you can do that. On Google display platforms, you can do that. On Google display ads. Yeah. So you can do that. So we do that a lot. It's basically, it's like eating our own dog food. So we don't want to just prescribe Outgrow to others without using it ourselves, which I find a lot of tools do, that they don't use it themselves, but they are talking about it. So we try to use it a lot in our advertisements. So basically, content, I would say, is the majority, is the major focus for us right now. We also do a bit of ads, social media. We are also working with a lot of affiliates and partners now, and that is also becoming a good growth channel for us. Okay.
So I want to touch on something you mentioned, that you've got the data to prove that content is better than your paid advertising. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What have you seen in terms of numbers, to the extent that you can share with us?
Could you repeat that question?
You said that you've got the data to prove that content marketing creates warmer and better leads than paid ads. Can you elaborate on your data and what you've seen there?
Right. So basically, it's like the 80/20 principle. The paid ads give you a lot more leads, but the sales team has to work a lot more to convert those leads, and those leads typically end up churning faster. At least that's been our experience. Whereas organic, I mean, the if we see the most valuable leads we have, they have a range of touch points. Like they have seen maybe 10 or 12 of our blogs over a period of 2 to 3 months, and then they sign up, and we typically find that they end up subscribing to higher plans, and they end up staying longer for us. So it's basically effort versus result. uh, Sales team and the customer support team has to make less effort to convert those,
Makes sense.
versus making more effort to convert paid leads. But of course, I mean, I wouldn't say that one is. I wouldn't say that you should do only one of them. Both are required. Sometimes you need volume as well, because revenue has a long tail. You need a lot of customers. That is a fact. But I would say that put more focus on content if you want to succeed in the long term.
Yeah. So it sounds like the people that go through the content just have more intent, and that they're nurturing through that content for quite a bit longer before they become leads. But once they ultimately do, and they've consumed so much content, that the quality is just much higher.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And that's there's a bit of conflict there as well, because then you can't really attribute very well the revenue to content, because
Right.
it just takes a lot of time to convert. Whereas paid ads is just so quick, because you start spending money, and I mean, we have a 7-day free trial. So our paid cycle ranges from 7 days sometimes to 14 days. In some cases, it can go beyond that as well. But the results are much quicker in paid ads. So it's easier to attribute, and therefore it's easier to quantify. Whereas content is difficult to measure. But anecdotally, we are pretty sure that content is the major driver of revenue.
And when you're running paid ads to cold traffic for prospecting, what landing page and which tools of your own are you using top of funnel to send those cold prospects to?
So as I said, most of our ads, they go to our own our own Outgrow pages.
Okay.
We also do a little bit of. We also have an unbounce account, so we do make some landing pages there as well. But majorly these two tools we use as landing pages.
So cold traffic, prospecting someone who clicks an ad, they've never been to your website before. They're going to go to a quiz or an ROI calculator.
An ROI, we've tried ROI calculators, but they haven't performed very well when it comes to cold prospecting.
Okay.
Because someone who doesn't know you, I'm not sure if they would be interested in finding out how much they'll make with Outgrow.
So quizzes
first, you have to make them more familiar with the tool. So we typically start with a top of the funnel quiz, that how much do you know about interactive content marketing, or how many leads can you get more if you tried interactive content marketing. Yes, I mean, that's more suitable for a cold prospecting ad.
Okay. Fantastic. And in terms of things you're thinking about, moving forward, there's always new shiny tools and new marketing strategies that we hear about. What do you think about next as the next strategy you want to try for growth?
This is something which I really want to do. I would really want to host those virtual summits, which are the rage nowadays, which are being held by Drift and or SurveyMonkey. I think they held one recently. I feel it's a great piece of great bundle of content that you create at one go, which you can then reuse and repurpose in multiple ways across your entire marketing funnel. And it's a great value proposition. And this is such a strange time for the world that we are trying to replace events with online, and people are also more receptive because I don't know when events will next take place. So I just feel that is something which I really want to try. I feel that if we get a good lineup of speakers, it will really put us out there in front of more people. But maybe not this year, because it's a big undertaking, because it's a big task logistically, and we also don't want to just be there because nowadays every brand is doing a lot of webinars and a lot of podcasts, a lot of online summits and all. So probably next year. So that is something which I really want to pursue next year.
Okay, seems like a great idea. As a marketing lead over at Outgrow, what's your biggest challenge, or what's the thing that creates the biggest difficulty for you?
Let's come back to that question later.
Okay.
I'll have to think about that actually.
Okay, fair enough. And what tool or feature do you wish existed to kind of make your life a little bit easier?
What tool or feature existed? Gee, I don't think. I mean, I think everything's already there. Just have to find it and make best use of it. So yeah, I don't think there is anything which I feel lacking in terms of resources.
Okay.
On the contrary, I feel there are so many new shiny objects everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to figure out what you don't want to do and just keep grinding at the implementation part.
But the creativity of how we use the tools, not just, sign up for something new and start using it right away.
Sure. I mean, I don't believe in growth hacks because I don't think they provide lasting value. Okay. I feel that the better you implement something, better you create, the better you are at implementation, creativity, discipline, routine, the better you will be.
Okay, good. I like that. Super. So this has been great. Let's jump into the lightning round. 5 quick questions, just to kind of understand a little bit more about you and what makes you tick. So my first question is, what's your family situation? Are you married, single, kids?
Single, no kids. Currently very focused on my work.
Okay, great. And what book would you recommend to our listeners, be it a business book or a non-business fiction, nonfiction?
So one book I would really recommend, which I read recently, is Sapiens. Actually, the first book is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. That's a book I recommend. That's a book I recommend to everyone. It's basically about how humanity is evolved from 10,000 years back to now. It talks a lot about different kinds of revolutions we have undergone, like the scientific revolution and the cultural revolution and the cognitive revolution and the agricultural revolution. So I basically think that in today's time, it's a really important book because it gives you a lot of perspective on how humans have lived. Because currently we are going through a very strange phase. So that is one book. The other one would be Too Good to Let Someone Ignore You. I'm not sure if I remember the title of the book correctly. It's a book by it's a book by Cal Newport. So it basically talks about how you can get more skillful at anything which you love. The basic gist of the book is that passion is overrated, and the lasting way to happiness is to get really good at something. Is to get really good at something, even if it is not a passion of yours. So that is something which I really believe in. That expertise leads to happiness. Passion doesn't. So yeah, these 2 books I would really recommend.
Great, thank you for that. And what's your favorite marketing or productivity tool right now?
So I've been trying a lot of productivity apps in this period. So currently I'm using Workflowy. And Simple Note for note taking and project management, and basically just managing my life and taking groceries and even those things. So these 2 tools are really saving my life right now.
Okay, great. And who's your favorite marketer that you're learning from these days? Who are you paying attention to?
I don't really think I have a favorite marketer, but I keep learning new things from Neil Patel, Peep Laha from Conversion Excel. Rand Fishkin of Moz. So these are some of the people who I tend to follow and whose content I read all the time.
Some smart people. And last question I got for you is, what's your favorite website or online community that you're learning from these days?
I tend to follow a lot of blogs like Buffer and Conversion Excel and HubSpot, Moz, InVision for design inspiration. So these are, I just keep, I mean, my reading list is my inbox. So I just keep getting article links from them, and I just keep storing them in my pocket or in my notes, and I just read them whenever I have the time.
Okay, great. And then where can people go to learn more about you and everything you're doing? Just simply follow you online?
Sure. For knowing more about Outgrow, just you can visit our website, outgrow.co.
Yep.
You can also find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. So yeah.
Okay, Fantastic. And I thank you for your time today. This has been great. I think you shared a lot of great information with the community. I think we're going to get a lot of value from it. So thank you for your time.
It was great to talk to you, and yeah, super.
Great. Thank you.